Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to Guns N' Roses Central, and we're counting down the last few songs for Guns N' Roses' True Story. So today we're talking about one of Guns N' Roses' biggest hit songs, Sweet Child of Mine. This one is off Appetite for Destruction. Now, Sweet Child of Mine was released in 1988 in August as the album's third single. So the song topped the Billboard Hot 100 charts by becoming their first number one single, and it was the only number one single that Guns N' Roses ever had in the US. So Billboard ranked it as the number 5 song for 1988, and it reached number 6 on the UK singles chart when it was re-released in 1989. So lead guitarist Slash has been quoted as having initial disdain for the song due to its roots simply as a string skipping exercise and a joke at the time. So during a jam session at the band's house on the Sunset Strip, drummer Steven Adler and Slash were warming up, and Slash began to play the circus melody while making faces at Steven Adler. Rhythm guitarist Izzy Stradlin asked Slash to play it again, and Stradlin came up with some chords. Duff McKagan created a bass line and Adler played a beat. In his autobiography, Slash stated that within an hour, my guitar exercise had become something else. Meanwhile, lead singer Axl Rose was listening to the musicians upstairs in his room and was inspired to write lyrics, which became complete by the following afternoon. So he based the song on his girlfriend at the time, Erin Everly, and declared that Leonard Skinner had served as an inspiration to make sure that we got to that heartfelt feeling. On the next composing session in Burbank, the band added both a bridge and a guitar solo. So while the band was recording demos with producer Spencer Proffer, he suggested adding a breakdown to the song's end, and the musicians agreed, but they weren't really sure what to do. So listening to the demo in a loop, Rose started saying to himself, "Where do we go now? Where do we go now?" And Proffer suggested that he sing that. So Slash talked about writing the song in a little more detail in an interview he did in 2007. So he said, "Song were written," or he probably meant was written, after we were signed and there was not much to do. Another management team was courting us, and these people went as far to leave us a house above Goffertpark. We pretty much demolished the place, but I remember Duff, Izzy, and I were sitting in the living room next to the fireplace. We had no TV set, and I was playing the intro riff, and they were playing chords behind it. And the next thing you know, it was turning into something. I really just thought of it as a joke, but lo and behold, Axl was upstairs in his bedroom, and he heard and started writing the words. The next day, we were rehearsing at Burbank Studios, doing a pre-production kind of thing, and Axl wanted us to play what we had been playing the night before. Pretty soon it shaped itself into a song, and all of a sudden it took on a serious kind of tone. It was really hard for me to accept, but the song became Axl's favorite. I think a lot of it had to do with the lyrics. They had a serious personal side to them. I don't think anyone in the band had much of a problem with the ballad as much as I did, because I was such a hard rock guy. Some ballads I could deal with as long as they were bluesy, but Sweet Child of Mine seemed completely sappy. Not so much from a lyrical point of view, but the whole intro riff. I like playing the solo section, but I would have written the song off as history if anyone else had complained about it. I had no idea it would become the biggest song the band ever did. Now, Slash also talked about recording the song in his autobiography, which came out in 2007. He said, "My other issue from recording Appetite for Destruction was recording Sweet Child of Mine. Steven Adler watched my foot to keep time, and for that song I'd count him in because my riff kicked off the proceedings. There was no hi-hat through the beginning, and we hadn't recorded a click track for it, so when I went to do the overdubs, it was a guessing game. I'd be sitting there anticipating the start of the song, hoping in my mind I'd time it right, so when I started playing, my timing was right. This was years before digital recording, so there was no signifier to guide me in my way. It took a while, it took many takes, but we got it in the end." Duff also talked about recording Sweet Child of Mine. He said it was probably the hardest song for me and Steven to record, just because you have to keep a steadiness and also keep the emotion in it. The thing about Sweet Child of Mine is it was written in 5 minutes. It was one of those songs, only 3 chords. You know that guitar lick that Slash does at the beginning? It was kind of a joke because we thought, what is this song? It's going to be nothing. It'll be filler on the record. And except that vocal-wise, it's very sweet and sincere. Slash was just messing around when he first wrote that lick. Slash also talked about playing the song live. He said, "I used to get wasted on stage. There were nights when I'd have to start Sweet Child of Mine 4 or 5 times because I was so loaded I couldn't play." And here's an example of Slash being wasted during the Use Your Illusion tour and having to restart the song. And then Slash also said in 1988 in an interview at that time, "To me, when we go out on stage, it's still the most dreaded song in the set, is to go out and play Sweet Child of Mine. Just to do with the very first notes is like hums the intro. It's like, no, I mean, it's a good song. Though, I enjoy the song when I listen to it, but it's not fun to play. And Axel has talked pretty extensively about Sweet Child of Mine in past interviews. So in an interview he did in 1987, he said, in Indiana, Leonard Skinner were considered God to the point where you'd end up saying, I hate this effing band. And yet for Sweet Child of Mine, I went out and got some old Skinner tapes to make sure that we got the down-home, heartfelt feeling. So we also had Axel comment on the Geffen press kit that went out with Appetite for Destruction. He said, Sweet Child of Mine is a true song about my girlfriend at the time. I had written this poem, reached a dead end with it, and put it on the shelf. Then Slash and Izzy got working together on songs, and I came in. Izzy hit a rhythm, and then all of a sudden the poem popped up in my head. It just all came together. A lot of rock bands are too effing wimpy to have any sentiment or any emotion in the stuff unless they're in pain. It's the first positive love song I've ever written. I never had anyone write anything that positive about. And Axel said the blue sky line actually refers to my first childhood memories, looking at the blue sky and wishing I could disappear in it because it was so beautiful. And around the time they released Sweet Child of Mine, there was actually a radio edit version of the song. They'd cut some of the song short, so they'd taken out part of Slash's solo, and that was something that Axel hated. He said, I hate the edit of Sweet Child of Mine. Radio station said, well, your vocals aren't cut. My favorite part of the song is Slash's slow solo. It's the heaviest part for me. There's no reason for it to be missing except to create more space for commercials so the radio station owners can get more advertising dollars. When you get the chopped version of Paradise City or half of Sweet Child of Mine and Patience cut, you're getting screwed. So Axel also talked a bit about his relationship with Aaron Everly on stage when Guns were playing Perkins Palace in late December of 1987. If you guys want to listen to the radio edit version of the song, I've linked to it down below in the description box. So here's what Axel actually told the crowd prior to performing Sweet Child of Mine. So he said, this is a hard song for me to do right now. I wrote this for someone that I care the world about. You know, someone you used to love, but your lives change, and you would wonder why and what happened. And you go to reach a point in your relationship, you don't know where to go. When I wrote this song, I didn't know it would be a self-fulfilling prophecy and that it would actually happen. For everyone who knows me and knows my friend Aaron, this is Sweet Child of Mine. Now let's talk about the music video for Sweet Child of Mine. So Sweet Child of Mine video depicts the band rehearsing in Huntington Beach at the Huntington Ballroom, surrounded by the crew members. So all the band members' girlfriends at the time were shown in the video. So Rose was dating Aaron Everly at the time, whose father was Don Everly of the Everly Brothers fame. McKagan's girlfriend Mandy Bricks was from the alternative rock band The Lame Flames was there, as well as Izzy's girlfriend Angela Nicolti, and Adler's girlfriend Cheryl Swiderski, and Slash's girlfriend Sally McLaughlin. So Stradlin's dog is also featured in the actual clip, and the video was extremely successful on MTV and helped launch the song to mainstream radio. Now, in 2006, Axl Rose did an interview on Eddie Trunk's show where he revealed that his original vision for Sweet Child of Mine's video focused on the theme of drug trafficking. So according to Rose, the video was to depict an Asian woman carrying a baby into a foreign land, only to discover at the end that the child was dead and filled with heroin. The concept, of course, was rejected by Geffen Records. There's also an alternative video for Sweet Child of Mine with different shots, all in black and white. So there was an article in 2015 that got published that Sweet Child of Mine sounded a little bit similar to an Australian rock band called Crawl. So they had released a song in 1981 called Unpublished Critics, and both members of Crawl and Guns N' Roses weighed in on the controversy. So I've linked to the song Crawl below for you guys to listen to, and here's what they said. So the lead singer, James Rain from Crawl, said it's not inconceivable that there are similarities between the two songs. He told the Daily Mail, it's not inconceivable that when they came out, they were quite open in interviews that they liked a lot of Australian bands. It's not inconceivable that they would have been aware of certain Australian songs. God forbid I have an active publishing company and they investigated the possibility. For Rain, one thing that is inconceivable would be taking Slash and company to court. He said, I'm not about to take on the might of Guns N' Roses lawyers, he said. So even Duff McKagan weighed in on the controversy. He said, it's pretty stunning, he told Radio.com, commenting on a video comparing the two songs. But we didn't steal it from them. I've never even heard the song until a couple of days ago. He swore hand on his heart. Guns N' Roses have been open about how much they've been influenced by Australian rock bands, most notably Rose Tattoo, AC/DC, and a handful of other ones. But those bands are much more hard rock than the band that they were accused of ripping off. So the song has been sampled and appears in several different songs. So Red Hot Chili Peppers' album Mother's Milk, the song Punk Rock Classic actually features the riff towards the end of the song. And even the song by Steel Panther, Death to Alba Metal, also features the riff from Sweet Child of Mine before the pre-chorus. And the film Step Brothers also features a scene in the film where there's a family driving in a van and they're doing an a cappella version of Sweet Child of Mine. And this is something you guys may not know, but for the Adam Sandler film Big Daddy, which came out in 1999, I think it was, Guns N' Roses actually re-recorded Sweet Child of Mine to be used in the end of credits for the film. So during the credit sequence, you can actually hear the new re-recorded version, and I've linked to the clip of it on YouTube. And for the film, Sheryl Crow actually recorded a cover for Sweet Child of Mine as well. And the song's also been featured in the film The Big Short, and it probably one of the most famous appearances of the song, even though it's a cover version, was in Guitar Hero 2. And the song also appeared in the Mickey Rourke film The Wrestler, and it's actually used as his intro music for Mickey Rourke's character. And Darren Aronofsky, who directed the film, revealed that Axl actually got a special thank you credit in the film. So he was asked in an interview, how did Axl Rose get a special thank you credit? To which he responded, well, we played Sweet Child of Mine, I don't know, maybe 300 or 400 times during the course of the film. Mickey's very good friends with Axl, and Axl was instrumental in helping us secure Sweet Child of Mine for the climax of the film. And when Mickey Rourke won the Golden Globe for Best Actor, he personally thanked Axl Rose and basically said that Axl let them license the song for a fraction of what it normally would have cost. So I've linked to that clip down below as well. Now, Duff McKagan performed the song with Chris Novoselic, formerly of Nirvana, back a couple of years ago, and Chris Novoselic plays accordion on it, and then Duff just plays the bass. It's just an instrumental jam. So I've linked to that clip down below for you guys to check out. And there's a demo of the song available on YouTube for you guys to go check out. Now let's talk about where the song ranks on the best to worst Guns N' Roses song list. So, according to Spin.com, they ranked it as the 5th best Guns N' Roses song, while Medium.com ranked it a bit lower on their list as number 9. So for me, it's definitely in my top 10. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on Sweet Child of Mine. That does it for this episode, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this episode, and be sure to hit subscribe if you love Guns N' Roses and you just want to see more videos just like this. And be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter for the latest Guns N' Roses news, and support me on Patreon. The links to all that stuff is down below. Take care.